up, everybody? This is Ted Karras with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cincy Hat, and you're watching Bengals and Brews.
Yes, you're watching Bengals and Brews. What's up?
We are?
Friday. Yeah, where's Pork Chop? It's fun.
I don't know. It was your turn to watch him, I thought. I'm sure he probably did what I did. He's probably waking up. Hopefully. Pork Chop, please get in here.
Wake up, Pork Chop. Or he's pooping. Could be pooping.
Yeah, or he's pooping. I did get him home, okay, from the Reds game. We're all fine and all that and stuff. We didn't get electrocuted or nothing. We made it out fine.
Yeah, apparently guys were in a monsoon there.
Oh, yeah, well, so we're sitting up in the upper deck red seats and all that underneath shelter, and, like, the wind's coming, and you can feel the rain coming through the upper screens and all that. I mean, we're sort of getting hit, but then, like they say, please go down underneath shelter. Man, I ain't going nowhere with shit, man. I ain't walking down there in the rain underneath shelter. We're staying where we're at. So I was freaking out, but Chop kept his cool with me and all that and stuff.
Yeah.
So how we doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Friday.
It's Friday. Something. It's harder than shit. It's going to get harder than shit the next couple of days.
Yeah.
All week. You're not burning up in your garage right now.
No, it feels pretty good down here. But
okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 90s all week next week.
Yay.
Maybe I'll finally get my new roof put on.
Oh, there you go. At least you don't have to worry about rain, right?
Yeah, I got a tarp where it's leaking on the roof. So
yeah,
it's when it's rained, it's not gotten through, but
hey,
still ready to get that over.
Go Pacers, buddy. Game 7, I think it's Sunday night and all that.
Yeah, I had to say it. See, after you said that, they lost 2 in a row. They finally won. But you said you pretty much jinxed them.
Go Thunder. Go Thunder.
Yeah, there you go.
Did I say that? Go Thunder. My bad. My bad. So, topic is Joe Burrow today. I don't know who he is.
Well, it's can he win MVP? Will he win MVP? Not can he, because he can. A lot of things have to go right. But in your opinion, do you think Joe Burrow will win MVP this year? If Greg had to put a Greg bet on it, would he win MVP?
Well, if he was in another uniform, I'd say yes. But this is the Bengals curse right here, man. I mean, we haven't had an MVP on the team since Boomer. If Dalton wouldn't have gotten hurt, I think he would have won the MVP that year if it wasn't for his finger. Honestly. I think, no, he should. I thought he should have won.
Palmer in 05 could have been an MVP too.
But he was wearing that Bengal uniform, Dale. If you're wearing orange and black with the B logo, you're not going to win MVP, apparently. But he should.
Yeah. And I mean, last year he played at an MVP level.
Yes.
But when your defense sucks and your record, you don't make the playoffs, you're not going to win it. So
if we would have snuck in, he should have been the MVP.
Like Sindustry said, the team around him is going to have to be better. And that's defense, right? Defensively, they've got to get to 20th. You can't be in the bottom 5. You got to be better than that, and show some improvement. Get stops at least in the fourth quarter when you need them. Mm-hmm. Win some more games. Be a playoff team. It would be nice to have like a 1 seed. That would be beautiful.
Right, exactly. It'd be nice to have all that. It'd be nice to have a Super Bowl trophy. I'm just saying. It'd be nice, but yeah, no. He could win MVP, but I'm just saying, man, wearing that Bengals uniform, it's hard to get past that, man. You have to have perfect stats to get that MVP, buddy.
So Josh Allen won it last year. Lamar's won it, right? A couple times, 1 or 2 times, twice. And then Mahomes. So, I mean, even in the AFC alone, you've got those guys. Plus, can Jalen Hurts kind of carry over, what he's done in the Super Bowl? If the Eagles are good again, is he in that mix? For a running back to win it, I think it'd be really hard. So, Christian McCaffrey's had good seasons. Saquon last year, but it's basically become a quarterback award.
Yeah, no, Saquon, if any running back would have won, Saquon should have won it that year. I mean, well, no, I thought Lamar should have won it again, be quite honest with you, but they didn't want to give it to him twice. So Josh Allen was kind of like, okay, he led the Bill. And Josh Allen was very deserving, don't get me wrong, but he led the Bills. But I'm just saying, without Lamar on the Ravens, that team is screwed. Now, without Josh Allen on the Bills, they're screwed. But still, But the Saquon, that would have been the year for running back to win the MVP. And I thought Saquon should have been the MVP.
Yeah. I also sent a link to the Iceman just so everybody knows. The Iceman may join here in a little bit. I was on his show with Charlie Clifford. That's the first time I've been on a show with Charlie. Jeff had a show at 2:30. So, if you didn't watch it, go back and check it out. Charlie is Very, very good. I thought that was a good show. Talked all kinds of different Bengals stuff. And, one thing we talked about on there, we can talk more about Joe, and you guys can give your thoughts on, I think Darth, I think that's a great point. Him winning MVP is directly tied to Al Golden's success. I think that is probably the best statement because the defense is better. We win more games. And Burrow, obviously, stay healthy like he did last year. Right. But we are loaded with weapons on the offensive side of the ball. And if Joe plays like he did last year, there's no reason he should not be in that MVP race. But to win it, your team has to have more success. That is the bottom freaking line. And
your team has to be good around you, buddy. Yeah, you hit the Darth. You're absolutely right, bro. You hit the nail on the head.
Hate to hear that, man.
Sorry to hear that, Paul. Sending thoughts and prayers, buddy.
I mean, I could be known as Honky Kong.
Yeah, but I
don't go to the gym, man. Honestly, I got weights down here.
Clifford on. I didn't get a chance. Fortunately, I did not get a chance to see it. I'm sure Trey was brought up. What was his take on Trey?
No, we did not talk about Trey. It was the one thing he's like, we don't really need to talk about that. One thing we talked about was like breakout candidates. Like it was T-Brookie that sometimes watches this show too. And fucking Honky Kong. Honky Kong. Oh. That's it, man. It's the new nickname. I finally got one after all these years. It's Honky Kong. Kind of like it. Ain't gonna lie. It's kind of great.
Yeah. But Dale, you're like I say, back to Burrow and all that. Yeah, he had MVP numbers last year. Statistically, he should have been MVP last year, right? But like I say, if you don't make the playoffs, I get it. You can't win MVP pretty much.
Well, like Jamar should have been in the running for MVP with the Triple Crown season. Like when he
should have been Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Offensive Player of the Year. Jamar should have been Offensive Player of the Year.
And could you imagine for a defensive player to win MVP, the stats they'd have to have? My gosh, you probably have to have like 30 plus sacks or something crazy.
Look at Michael Strahan. He had over 20 sacks one year, and he still couldn't win. No. It'll never happen. That's why they have Defensive Player of the Year. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
Never. I don't think
part of me gets it because the quarterback is very important to success of a franchise and to the success a team has. But, man, I don't know. Like somebody that has like a defense that gives up 10 points a game and you're winning all the time, like,
right.
Should that murderer Ray Lewis have been an MVP with some of those Raven defenses? But then again, Ed Reed was so good. It is tough because like a defense, I don't know, man. Whereas quarterback, you're touching the ball every play.
Well, what's funny is you look at Major League Baseball, a pitcher actually has won MVP in baseball. I figured it'd be hard for a pitcher to win MVP than a football player on defense would be to win MVP. But it actually has happened in baseball, believe it or not.
But back to T. So T-Brookie asked a question. I'll ask you here. So we were talking about who's maybe an under-the-radar player on the defense that could have a big season. And you could go a lot of ways with that. Like that it was basically that people aren't talking about. But I'm like, as Bengals fans, we talk about everybody. But, So Charlie said Cedric Johnson if you wanted to go for a deep cut. And I thought that's a good one. I like Cedric Johnson. I guess he said he was living at Paul Brown Stadium this offseason. Paycor, sorry. Not allowed to call Paul Brown. Not allowed to call Twitter X. Stop changing names. It's stupid.
Yeah. But you know what? I hear his name pop up, and technically he's a free agent signing, but Slayton, man. I'm just hearing good things about Slayton right now, man. If he can, I'm not saying he has to be DJ Reader, but if he can be half of what DJ Reader was, oh my God, dude. I mean, I hear Slayton, like I say, I know he's technically not a breakout since he just got on the team as a free agent, but Slayton just keeps popping up at times.
No, it's like a player that could be really important for the defense that people aren't talking about enough, and people aren't. They're not real. Like not a lot of people are talking about TJ Slayton, so I think that's a good answer, Greg.
Well, I knew you weren't very high on him on your free agent list. He was like the last on your list and all that and stuff. So when I remember it happened during one of their shows, and I was all happy, but then you kind of beat me down to the dumps. No, I'm just kidding. But
I really wanted a pass rushing D tackle. That's true. That's something we talked about on that show too. I still think that we need that beyond BJ Hill. Like I think we need more pass rush juice from the interior. So that's still a question to me. But I can at least understand, especially as more time has passed, the Bengals' thought process and their plan there. Because when they didn't have DJ Reader, Sheldon Rankins was not that guy. You're making BJ hit, Chris Jenkins with one hand as a rookie. So, like, you didn't have that run stuffing. And, when the Ravens added King Henry,
Mm-hmm.
Now you're chasing the Ravens right now because you want to win the North before anything else. You win the North, you're guaranteed a playoff in the playoffs. So I think getting a guy like Slayton to stop the run is smart, and it's important, and it's a good thing to do because you're chasing the Ravens, Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Right, and I wasn't taking a jab at you. I just remember you weren't too happy about it at the time. But like you said, you were just wanting that pass rushing specialist, and we still don't have that guy on the team. So I totally get where you're coming from right
there. Well,
I mean,
it's also looking at the stuff. Like, I'm more PFF, so PFF, like, they did not have him graded that well as a run defender. But then, like, the ESPN one, I never look at that, but, he was like the highest graded run defender per the ESPN stuff. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And he's a big body, run stuffing guy. And I do think we missed DJ Reader and missed that, I just wish we supplemented it with another pass rushing guy beside him to open it up. But hopefully this will allow the linebackers, to make more plays as well. Because our linebackers struggled. I know Pratt's not here, but.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, one guy I would love to say, even though he's a rookie, Shamar Stewart, because he could be that guy in the interior as a pass rusher. That's another thing that's pissing me off with Stewart, because Stewart has lined up in the middle, and I think you talked about this one day. Maybe he could be, since it's a crowded defensive end room kind of, maybe line up Stewart in the interior at times. So just tell him as a rookie.
Person you're trying to reach is not available. Wake up, Pork Chop!
Nah, he likes me, Dale. I'll call him.
Well, he's not pooping if it went straight to voicemail. That means he's still probably got his phone on silent. Everybody text Pork Chop and hit the notify anyways button.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop
sleeping. I fell asleep one time too, so I can't say anything. But like I say, let me play. So like I say, but yeah, back to so like I say, Slayton though, man. Like I said, that's a guy. There's so many guys on defense. Dax Hill came to my mind. Osai. We had this talk about Osai and Murphy, and like the Vulture, who we had on last week, and all that and stuff. He said Miles Murphy, he has something more to prove than Osai does because he's your first round pick. That's why it's a bigger deal for Murphy than Osai. Murphy, if he can find his way, I was talking to a buddy of mine today on the phone. If he can, we always say, we're just so sick and tired of hearing. If he can find his way, he can find his way. It's been 2 years now. He still really hasn't done that, man.
Well, his snaps have to increase, right? More snaps, more experience. That's going to help Miles Murphy. So, yeah, and Industries, you're right. We don't need a spectacular defense. We just need one that doesn't completely suck ass. And right now, it's completely sucked ass the last couple seasons, and that's a big reason we've missed the playoffs. Our defense has not been good enough. And it's a lot on Al Golden. Like, can Al Golden win league MVP? Because if the Bengals are going to have success and that's where they need to be, Al Golden's probably the most important person in this entire organization right now. Up there with Joe Burrow is Al Golden, because they're putting everything on his plate. And listen, the thing is, it's like 12 out of the 15 last top 3 round picks have gone to defense. So it's not devoid of talent. There is talent on that side of the ball. We have drafted talent. We just haven't played it. We haven't got the most out of it. And also for my answer on who I think could be the surprise guy or is not talked about enough, I said DJ Turner. Because I love DJ Turner. He may not have a starting job, and Dax is back, and they're talking about Josh Newton potentially in the slot or Dax, however it shakes out, plus Cam Taylor-Britt. But I think DJ Turner is one of our best corners, and I think that, his 4.3 speed, his ball skills improved. He looks so good, man. That game he got hurt was probably the best game he played in his 2 seasons.
Right, exactly. DJ Turner, man. But it's just like, he's got the speed, but we see him get burned out so many times and all that. Like I say, there's so many what-ifs on the team. So many what-ifs.
Are you going to be chugging milk next week when it's 90 degrees?
Yeah, you know what? That's funny you mentioned that, because I got home from a walk today and I was chugging milk. I actually thought about that.
So, yes, the answer is yes, Crip. He will be doing that.
Yes. Me and Santori need to have a milk chugging. I can beat Santori in a milk chugging contest. I can tell you that. But, yeah, Dale, you look at the whole defense is a big question mark. We don't know. That's the whole problem. There's so many breakout players. There, you could make a list of 10 players on that defense. The only for sure player is in a contract. Trey is the only. Who is second behind Trey that you can count on that defense? I think the only one I really can think of, two players that kind of come to my mind, sort of, Jordan Battle and Logan Wilson. But even I'm not really. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, Jordan Battle, it's his time now. It's hey, you're the guy. You're going to start from the get-go. It's not, hey, we're going to put you in halfway through the year. He knows that it's his time, so I'm expecting a big season. But yeah, Logan Wilson definitely, he needs to get back in form coming off the injury. It's just I don't know, man. Like a deep cut on who could have an impact that no one talks about. Maybe DJ Ivy, right? If they ever let pterodactyl arm DJ Ivy cover tight ends, I think he can have a great role of doing that. I don't know why they don't do it. Who has got Flowers, right?
Right.
When we have Flowers, that was always really good at covering the tight ends. I think that could be DJ Ivy. Like, special teams, sure, but let him come in and cover some tight ends on third downs. Like, I think that'd be a good role for him.
Right, exactly. You know what, buddy of mine, we were talking about Louis Anarumo. The main position he liked to dominate was with the safeties. He loved to dominate with the safeties. Golden, there's a reason why I went linebacker here, Dale, in the draft. Golden loves his linebackers. That's what he coached. I think he's going to have the linebackers more dominant than the safeties. Golden was all about defensive back because Golden himself was a defensive back coach. So I think Golden is going to he's going to treat the linebackers like how Lou treated the defensive backs.
Yeah, and
they
invested in it. They invested in it with Demetrius Knight in the second round, Barrett Carter in fourth, brought in Oren Burks in free agency, and now you got Logan Wilson back, Shaka Hayward, Muma Jean-Meta. Like, there's 6 guys right there competing for probably 5 spots. I think it's really Jean-Meta and Shaka Hayward probably competing for the 5th spot, but I like both of those guys too, for special teams and depth and goal line defense.
So back to what, Carter, I've said this on the show. When I looked through your draft guide, I happened to look at linebackers. I didn't take them too seriously because, like, okay, we can go linebacker. And Barrett Carter just popped in my face and all that and stuff. And he caught my attention, man. I was very excited when we got Carter. And you know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit? Now, even though Akeem Davis-Gaither didn't do too much for us, that one game against Lamar where we used Gaither right, you just wonder, are we stocking up on defense to go up against the Ravens? Are we trying to load up to go against the Ravens? Is that what our main priority is right now? I mean, obviously to dominate everybody, but I wonder, are we just thinking ourselves like we got to find a way to come at the Ravens?
Well, then why didn't we invest more in free agency for defense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because they're banking on Al Golden and all the young guys and, trying to go cheap on defense because they paid Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. I know why, like,
right.
But I just think, if you're really going all in on defense to stop the Ravens offense, you should have invested more. You should have invested in more pass rush, especially interior D line, because we still got $30 million sitting out there. And we're never creative with money, but
it's
not trying to be negative.
It's okay. No. I was going to say with the Ravens, you could argue, okay, look at the defensive backfield. Humphrey, and now you add Alexander. I'll say this. Chase has dominated Humphrey every time he's went up against him, but still, Humphrey's a good corner. You have Alexander now. Those are 2 proven corners. Along with that, you have possibly the best safety tandem in the NFL for the next 3 or 4 years tops. As if Kyle Rudolph wasn't bad enough to deal with. Now you got Starks, who I heavily said on the show I wanted the Bengals to get. Now that could be the best defensive backfield in the league right there easily. But still, I'm still not too scared because we still have Joey B and the 3 and Higgins and Chase and Gesicki and hopefully Burton. But still, the Ravens, they're thinking we got to load up against the Bengals. Even though they beat us twice, they're thinking themselves, how can we stop the Bengals pass defense? How can we stop the Bengals passing? That's what they were thinking.
Yeah.
He's
up to 220, Greg.
Ooh.
Probably got.
But they're going to use him in the slot more. I've come to accept this. Right now. Yossi Bosch is a red zone receiver. He's a good 4th or 5th option. Did I once think he could be our number 2 if T was going to hit free agency? I honestly did. Yes. He didn't prove it last year, but there's nothing wrong with using him as a red zone target. If he's your – look, I will still take my shirt off like crazy when he scores a TD in the red zone. I will still do it. But I've come to accept he is not that number 2 receiver, and that's okay. That is perfectly fine. But he's still a good – he may be the best 4th or 5th option in the league on any – if he was on another team, he still could be your number 2, I think, for 3 or 4 teams possibly.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't put, okay, James. Okay, Dale, that's fine. Called you James, sorry.
What the fuck, Greg? You love Cincy James so much, that's all you can think about?
No, anyway, like I'm saying, Yoshi, I'm come to accept Yoshi for who he is.
You love him no matter what.
Yeah. When I see him next time, he'll be signing my candle. I don't care what people think. I don't care if they think that's creepy. He's going to sign my candle.
Yeah, and he should. He should have had him sign it a long time ago.
Yeah, I think the real question is though. No. Here's an interesting question. Offense, potential breakout player on offense. Is we know we have a bunch of dominant players on offense. If I had to pick one guy to have a breakout season on offense, is Chase Brown really an option?
I don't think so. He was so good the second half of last season,
right?
That a lot of people are already calling him a top 10 running back in the NFL. So I don't think he can really break out. I mean, he could have a even better season, but I wouldn't call it a breakout under the radar type thing. I mean it's probably Jermaine Burton just because he didn't do anything could have, because hey, that's catching a few deep touchdown passes or something. That's a breakout year for him.
Could McLaughlin? Could he have a breakout year?
I was thinking him too. Him. Let's just say Gesicki's out a couple games or something. For whatever reason. So then McLaughlin comes in as that receiving tight end and breaks out. I think that's possible. You can't sleep on him, but I still think he's in a roster battle to even make the 53 with Tanner Hudson.
Yeah, exactly. And, even though he's a rookie, Taj Brooks. I mean, I'm really excited for Taj Brooks. Zach Moss, I know he got hurt, but why? Because I feel like Zach Moss staying on the team, that just takes away carries from Taj Brooks, right? You have
I don't know. Which I asked Charlie, and he said it, it's trending toward, because he was doing some rehab stuff, because I'm like, you just don't see anything about Moss hardly. And it sounds like he's trending toward maybe being available by training camp. If that's the case, then Moss is going to be back in the mix. They obviously trust him as a veteran. They trust P. Ryan as a veteran. I think it's going to be hard for Brooks to break through and really do much this season unless injuries happen. But I would like to see it. I would like to see, P. Ryan and Moss maybe come in more for third downs, obvious passing downs, because they're in there to block and then be an outlet in the passing game. But I would like to see Brooks almost get some run, on first and second down when they're actually running the ball and they're spelling Chase Brown for a series or two. I would like to see Brooks get that over the other two personally, but
right, exactly. Now here's a question: breakout special teams player. I mean, because you don't think about special teams, you don't see punt returners much. Charlie Jones. Is he our punt returner? I forget who punt returned for us last year when Jones was hurt most of the time.
Isaiah Williams, we picked up off of waivers from Detroit. He was an undrafted free agent out of Illinois, and then he was kind of our returner. Which also Burton did some of the kick returns, and Isaiah Williams did the punt return. So I think they like Williams, and I think that Charlie Jones and him are going to battle for that, return spot. But Charlie can do kick and punt both. But I think Burton also is probably back there as your kick returner as well. So I don't know. They've got options, and maybe Taj Brooks gets a little run at least as a kick returner.
Well, Taj Brooks, wasn't he more known as a bashing running back? Does he really have the speed to be a kick returner?
He doesn't have breakaway speed, but he's very shifty in the open field. So he's more elusive than you think. So a guy like that and I'm just saying, a lot of times you put two guys back there anyways. maybe he's doing some of that to be the blocker. But they might have P. Ryan do that. They might have Zach Moss do that. They might have a lot of guys do that.
Well, you know what, Burton, if I'm Burton right now, I'm going to do everything I can to say I can provide for this team. Oh, Bam, how you doing?
Hey, Bam.
Long time no see.
Definitely ready for football as well. There's only so much to talk
Pam.
about at this point.
Absolutely, Pam, absolutely. But yeah, no, if I'm Jermaine Burton, I'm going to do everything I can to contribute, whether that's punt return, if they tell me to do special teams, if they tell me to be water boy, whatever, I am going to do what I have to do to make this team. And you know what, Burton? That'd be a great him as a punt returner with the explosive speed he has, Dale. That would be a great way for him to show, hey, I'm serious about this team. I'm going to break out. I think if you get Burton as your punt returner, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'm legit worried about Pork Chop. Crip's asking if he got invited to payday drinks, but
yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying. I called him. I messaged him 3 times. I called him twice.
He loves me, Dale. He loves me. Hold on. What's up, Wade? How you doing? Whoa. Voicemail immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, maybe he overslept or something. I don't know.
I'm hoping. Just saying.
Oh, hey, Pork Chop, you're watching. We love you, buddy. We hope you're doing all right.
Well, he's not watching, Greg. He's clearly.
I'm just saying.
Not watching.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying all that
You can't
stuff.
say Pork Chop if you're watching. We know he's not watching. He'll be on here.
Okay, well, maybe it's possible he's watching. He's just rushing to get ready. I don't know, Dale. I'm just trying to have some positivity here and all that and stuff. Don't step on me. But you're right. But still. But anyway, like I say, breakout players on offense, like I say, you could easily say one of the linemen, I guess. We could say Cody Ford. We could say
Fairchild, I think could be we're kind of expecting it though. Like he's penciled in at left guard. He's been talked about, but if we're talking about a breakout player, him as a rookie to really like be a good lineman as a rookie, it's hard to do. So like I think that would be a good breakout candidate. There's just not going to be. Offense, man, our offense is pretty set. And Joe's excited about that. Like Joe's talked about the fact that there's not a lot of turnover. It's having the same receivers, having the same people. He's not trying to get someone up to speed who's new to the team. They've rotated tight ends every single season.
Exactly. They did a bunch of that. And, I was going to say, yeah, Fairchild, my mind's blank right now. I kind of got it from a nap and all that. Who's the rookie? Who's the other guard rookie if we draft out of Miami? Help.
Well, I don't know that they've even given him a shot to play guard.
Divine on Twitter.
Jalen Rivers, but I think they've had him, repping more at tackle to be the backup kind of tackle.
Yeah.
He's got versatility to me that he could play tackle or guard. I just wish they'd give him a legit shot because I personally don't believe in Cody Ford or Lucas Patrick at right guard, which is why I would still try to get Brandon Scherf if he's not going to stay retired. I would still check and see how Will Hernandez is coming off the injury because I think right guard especially, like Dalton Risner's played more left guard. So if I'm comfortable with Dylan I'm willing to at least give Dylan Fairchild a shot as a third-round pick and a young guy that I'm not like zeroed in on Dalton Risner because he's played left guard more. But right guard, man, Brandon Scherf, Will Hernandez, like bring them in. What would it hurt? And then if Cody Ford or Lucas Patrick beat them out, which they won't.
But Dale, the problem with Scherf is he's clearly not committed right now to playing. Do you really want a guy for blocking for Joe right now? Do you really want a guy coming in the middle of training camp like, okay, I'm here and all that? I'm just.
Or is he just taking his time? Like dudes do that every year. Like you see it all the time where it's like. But who knows? And maybe he's done. So that's what I'm saying. He might be.
Right. So like I say, like a buddy of mine always says, so all these free agents out there, there's a reason 31 other teams have not contacted or I don't know. I'm just saying, believe me, I want to get grabby myself bringing some of these guys in, but you also got to remember there's a reason why 31 other teams have also have not signed some of these players at all yet either.
Well, son of a biscuit, Greg. See, it's when we need the pork chop. We need one of them things, one of them tier makers.
I got my own tier maker, man. I can tier make in my head.
What?
I tier make in my head, Dale. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do. I wish I knew how to do all that. I can't pull any of that up. You do though, right?
You just bring up another tab, Greg.
What?
My internet keeps showing 1 on StreamYard. It's perfectly fine on my actual computer. It's been like this for like 3 weeks. It says I have a strong signal down here, and on StreamYard it says connection is unstable.
For me,
It
or
makes no sense. No, for me. That's what it says on StreamYard. For me, it keeps doing that.
Oh, I did not know that. What's up, Tyler?
Work sucks.
Yeah, I could tell you that. But yeah, no, a tier maker. Let's think here. Let's think of a simple tier maker and all that stuff. You know what, Dale? I'll tell you what. Let's do a tier maker of who has improved the most on defense. Let's just do a tier maker. Let's rank them. What?
I ain't done it without the graphic, Greg.
Oh my
Too
gosh,
much.
Dale. How do you think guys back in the 50s and 60s did all this, man? Come on.
Nope, you're just going to have to sing for the next 30 minutes, Greg. And dance.
I ain't doing no singing.
Sing and dance for us, puppet.
No, Dale. Let me ask you a scenario here. This is just a random scenario. I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything or nothing. Say Trey wants a 4-year deal. We're at $34 million a year. And the Bengals only offer like a 2-year deal or something, barely $30 million. But Trey's still saying, all right, is in your opinion 2 years over $30 million, let's just say somewhere in the 20s guaranteed for each year. Is that a fair offer?
Trey is, why wouldn't he want closer to $35 million per year? Like Max Crosby got it, Danielle Hunter got it. Year-wise, who knows? All we've heard about the Bengals is what? We heard $23 million, we heard $28. They've got to come up.
Yeah, they got to come
closer
up.
to 35.
In my opinion.
But year-wise, I don't know what he wants. He talks about long-term.
Yeah, long-term. Look, I'm sorry. Danielle Hunter, I know that. But look, I love Trey. Trey's awesome. But, man, I'm just saying. Then again, I said the same thing about Whitworth. Trey wants 3 years. Yeah, I know he wants 3 years. But, man, I'm saying I just don't. I don't know, man. That's something the Bengals and Trey have to work out because I love Trey. I want him here so badly. I know you want him here so badly. I'm just tired of the drama. I just want the mystery to end. I just want something to happen.
That's why I keep saying it. I think he just gets more money for this season, and then he's back on the free agent market. Like, he'll eventually play because he'll want to play, and he won't want to set out a whole year. I don't think that's going to help his value.
Well,
but the Bengals are going to have to give him more money this year. They're going to have to basically double his salary for this year.
No, they don't, Dale, because they could tag him, and the tagging contract for a defensive end is $25 million, which is cheap compared to what Trey wants. If the Bengals honestly wanted to be jackasses, they could do that, Dale. And then I think the second.
And then we're still stuck with this song and dance, and it's just dumb. And if you're going to tag him, that means you want him this year and next year. At minimum, they should come to some kind of agreement. Here's a 2-year extension. Then 2 years,
but then no,
$64 million. That's $32 million per year. But it's not going to happen. Neither side is budging.
No, it can't happen because that's cheap for the Bengals. Dale, $25 million.
And he's going to tell them to go fuck themselves. He's going to tell them to go fuck themselves. He's not
but the joke is on him. Then he's sitting out. Is he really going to sit out for money, Dale?
It sounds like it. Yes.
I don't think so.
We say that, but he's
made $84 million in his career. Now, I could be wrong.
I could live off $84 million.
I was going to say, I can live off $84 million. I mean, but I'm just saying, I'm not trying to come at Trey. I'm talking from a business standpoint. I love Trey. I hope they come to agreement. I'm just saying, if the Bengals wanted to, they could tag him at $25 million. In the second year would be like, what, $28 or $29 million?
And the Browns could have told Myles Garrett, forced him to try to play and said, we'll tag you. But no, they gave him $40 million because they don't want to look like pieces of fucking shit and burn the bridge with every fucking potential free agent in the future and be like, oh, this is what we're going to do. And then you look like fucking shit. And they continue to look like shit and continue to not win How many Super Bowls? 0 fucking Super Bowls. 0.
Well, I was getting ready to say, look, but then again, they still have what's his name under contract at quarterback, even though this is probably his final year. But I'm saying they have a little bit more money to spend than we do. Because let's think about this. What other superstars besides?
I mean, technically, yeah, but they got so much money on the fucking hook for Watson and those guys. Like,
that's what I thought about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, Dale, you're not wrong on that. I'm just saying if the Bengals wanted to, they could tag Trey for the next 2 years after this year. Right? Technically, they could if they wanted to.
And if he doesn't show up and play this year, and he's not going to show up, they can tag away and keep and guarantee 20-some million on their own cap. It doesn't help them either. It does not help the Bengals either.
I agree with that too. I'm just saying if they wanted to. I'm not saying they will, but I'm just saying if they honestly wanted to. Right. That's Dale. I'm just throwing out a
scenario. Every team could do that. Every team could do that. Who uses the franchise tag? No one. No team uses the fucking franchise tag anymore because the agents don't like it. It makes their franchise look like shit. It's not used. Who's used the franchise tag? Who's playing on the franchise tag this year?
Not too many players anymore. No, I agree with you on that.
I don't think a single player is playing on the franchise tag this season.
No, you're right. And like I said, we did it with Bates. It did not end too well. It affected Bates and all that and stuff. Yeah, no, I agree. A lot of times we had a player on the franchise tag. It did not go out too well. You are right about that, Dave.
Like, you can be a tough negotiator all you want, but does it help you win? Does it help your locker room chemistry? Does it help this? Does it help that? Like, Mike Brown's worth billions of fucking dollars. Like, I'm not worried about him having to spend fucking 34 on a fucking franchise DN. That's the market. That's the market for a DN. If you don't want to pay it, you don't want to pay the market value for these players because you want to write yourself a bonus check each year, don't own a fucking franchise because it's not the 1990s anymore.
It worked for Higgins. That's true.
Well, it worked for Higgins. Franchise tag?
Okay, deal. He got franchise tag last year, and he still he just got franchise tag, but he got his money.
And his franchise tag was also what, $23 million, which is about what he wanted anyways, 25. So you're saying that Trey should take 25 instead of 35 when the market is 35.
Yeah, no, you got to.
And that's a year from now. The market might be 40 for a guy like Trey a year from now.
Yeah, no, I hear you, buddy. But I'm just saying, if he was still he's got $84 million in the bank. I'm just saying. I mean, obviously I hope he didn't spend all of it. I'm sure he should at least have $60 million left over.
Oh, I'm sure he's got. But it's about how you're valued by your company, and it sucks because guys like us, we can't.
No, we can't. I've tried to relate that so many times.
And that's what, as fans, it's like, well, that's fucking stupid. Play for it's $16 million. Don't be a fucking. But he's looking at it like, I'm one of the best defensive ends in the league. The best defensive ends in the league are getting 35, 36 minutes. Plus, Bengals, I tried to get you to pay me much less than that before that market value went up, but you wouldn't do it.
No, wait. A year ago, they couldn't do that, Dale. They couldn't do that, remember? Because of something that said till like a year from now. Remember?
They could have done it. They could have done it during camp because that's when he signed before. They could have at least done it during camp.
Okay.
And he'd be under contract and it'd be done, and it would be a hell of a lot less than the 35, 36 that are going to players like Daniel Hunter.
He did, like I said, I know this makes it sound like I'm going against Trey, but unfortunately, he did sign that 1-year extension. He doesn't like what he signed.
2 or 3 years ago, right?
Okay, I'm going to throw Scottie Pippen out here. Remember when Scottie Pippen signed that BS contract? The general manager of the Bulls even said, Scottie, if I were you, I would not sign this contract. But if you sign this, don't ever come back to me. I'm not saying Mike Brown did the same thing to him or anything, but when you sign a contract, I'm sorry. Yes, he is worth way more.
So did Myles Garrett. So did all these other players. And then they want new contracts because the salary cap goes up, because the TV deals go up, because there's more money going out and that's just how it is. And you have to renegotiate. And once again, the Bengals don't fucking hesitate to renegotiate when they say, you didn't play up to that, we want $500,000 back. So it cuts both ways, but the Bengals don't like to cut both ways because the Bengals want to win. As Shamar said, they want to win negotiations and not Super Bowls. They have plenty of fucking money, and they can get creative with contracts, and they don't do it.
You're not wrong right there, Dale. I'm not disagreeing with you and all that. I'm just saying when he stated he asked for the Bengals extension for 3 years and they never gave one, he did get one. It's just not what he wanted, what he's not valued at now. But I get it. I get it. He's worth way more value, but he did sign that 1 year extension. I'm just saying the Bengals did give him an extension. He did not have to sign that. He could have easily said, hey, I want to prove myself 2 years ago when he signed that contract.
But he signed it in good faith, and they told him in good faith.
That's true.
Last year, that if he went out and was great, they would pay him accordingly. And he had 17 sacks and then had 17 sacks again. So he's done everything they've asked. And then, in good faith, the market went up, and they don't want to pay that market value now and keep their word to him. He has every right to be pissed off.
You're right. No. Look, this is where I'm gonna say this right here. The Bengals said to him, if you have another year of 17 sacks, we will give you that contract. He's like, okay, I had 17 sacks. And Trey said, if I only had 4 sacks, no doubt in my mind, they would have taken so much money away from me. And so, yes, that's where the Bengals, when the Bengals said that, that's on the Bengals right there. You made a verbal promise to Trey right there. That makes you look bad on your end right there. Absolutely.
Had they got the deal done with Jamar earlier? Had they just said, we'll give you a little bit more of this or that? And I know Jamar, ultimately, it wasn't like a bad deal. He was like, I'll wait, at one point. T. Higgins, same thing. They could have had T under contract a long time ago, probably at a much lesser value. They wait. They're so like, but there's no foresight to them. The cap is only going up. This contract will only look better if you sign guys early. The Eagles are very good at that. Detroit's starting to be very good at that, getting guys under contract early, because then 2 years from now on these 4 and 5 year deals that they sign, where it looks fantastic at the time for the player, they're bargains. They're bargains 2 years later.
I will say this. I'll say this. When I saw this, I about threw up. Who was the player that, signed with the Jets that we wanted back, and we signed Trey instead? The guy we drafted out of Auburn a couple years ago kept getting hurt. What's his name?
Carl Lawson?
Carl Lawson. He has made more money than Trey Hendrickson, I think, has. I think I read that somewhere, because the Jets gave him that huge-ass contract, but then Lawson got hurt, but he still made a crud load of money off the Jets. So I will say that is ridiculous right there. So, yes, Trey needs to get the money he deserves. I agree with that, Dale.
Well, and this is his last opportunity to get it, and he's probably thinking, this is money. I can do what I want to do after football for, could be for charitable things, but he's also setting up generational wealth for his kid or kids, their kids, I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
when me and Bengals and Bourbon, I was joking around myself. Yeah, like he's looking to show up the Sam Hubbard event, dude. He showed up in the midst of everything, of all the contract drama. Trey showed up to every event, to so many events. I mean, it was incredible. Trey is a stand-up person. Good all-around person. That, he does everything right off the field. Absolutely. So,
Wade, I honestly think that he is decent against the run. He's not elite, you know what I mean, by any means, but he's pretty good against the run. Like, if you look at his PFF numbers and stuff, he's pretty good against the run.
Well,
he's still one of the better run defenders with grade-wise on our team. He's just an unreal pass rusher, but he's solid against the run. He's not as bad as people are just like, he's ass against the run. He's not.
It's funny because I actually stopped by St. Tory's work today, drop him off a Hertz donut and all that and stuff. And I talked to him a little bit about Trey. He said, he said exactly what you said. People think Trey's the worst. Is he the greatest against the run? No. Do I still put Trey up there? Look, I know I'm going to get ripped off for this. Do I put Trey up there with Garrett and TJ Watt? No, but that does not mean
I don't know if he's far off from TJ Watt, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what?
I would probably say Watt's a little better. I would be with you, but I don't know that he's far off from TJ Watt.
Yeah, but Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, I do think, is the best D end, and he's being paid accordingly, right? That $40 million, and that's why I don't think Trey's asking $40.
Well, yeah, well, no, TJ Watt. You can argue
TJ
this,
Watt's
Dale.
asking for 40 though.
Is TJ Watt? He's good. I'm not knocking out TJ Watt, but is he also good because he's got Cameron Hayward with him also?
Yeah, they do. I do feel like the Steelers put more pieces around him, certainly
In
than
high
what
school,
Trey said.
Yeah, you know what TJ Watt? You know, Dale, you're bringing up a good point here. TJ Watt and think
Larry
of it
O, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Keanu
TJ Watt
Benton
can't
that
stay
they brought
healthy.
in now. Keanu Benton, now Derek Carmen. Dude,
Right.
they invest heavily with, on that.
You're right. No, can TJ Watt stay healthy?
Yeah.
So, you're right about that. Okay, there is one other player, even though he's not a defensive end, there is one player I would put up there with TJ Watt with Myles Garrett also, and that's Chris Jones. Chris Jones you could put up there with maybe not at the exact point of Myles Garrett, but Chris Jones is another one. But see, here's the thing. Can you move Trey Hendrickson around like you can move Myles Garrett around? Not really. But like I say.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think he's best off the edge.
Right. But I'm just saying. That's not to say.
No, I think Myles Garrett's in a category of his own. No argument there.
Right, exactly. Like I say, and like I say, that I'm not like, should Trey get close to 40 million like Myles Garrett? Absolutely not. Although,
should he get 35, 36 like a Max Crosby and a Danielle Hunter? I think so. Because I guarantee DJ Watt probably wants 40 as well. That's why he's holding out.
Well, that's another thing. Why aren't people coming after the Steelers for not paying TJ Watt? Right? Because he's wearing a Steelers uniform. That's what I can't stand. It's always, see, then again, Trey is the one going in public. TJ Watt's being more silent about it, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, I guess. And both sides, it's just, you don't really hear the Steelers say much about him either. And, Katie's come out and said stuff about Trey, which is why Trey's come out and said stuff. So it's gone both ways to where, it's just.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, the way that was phrased, that all you just needed to say was, we hope to get Trey done. We're going to do everything we can. And I'll just leave it at that. It's just like, oh, Lord. And when Trey went on McAfee's show, because remember, it was on April 1st. He thought it was an April Fool's joke. I'm like, oh, this is not going to go over well at all. Not at all. But, hey, at least, Dale, you and I can agree on this. I know you and I were kind of disagreeing a little bit, have our differences, which is okay. But
no, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about, and that's the thing. I am more pro player because the money that these owners make is just going up. So I know it's ridiculous money to us as common people, but it's a different world.
When I like talking, like there's non-football fans around me, I'm like, oh, he's only getting 50 million. It's like, what do you mean only? I'd take that. Like you say, Dale, you try to really, because you were probably one point like I was, always like saying, oh, quit being selfish. You have to understand from a player standpoint a lot more. You have to understand from the player standpoint. I've always tried to be understanding with that myself.
Some of these guys, when they're done playing, they can't even walk.
Well, exactly. I'll give you an example. You're going to hate me for this probably, but Nick Bosa, I did not blame him at all. When he got hurt at Ohio State, I did not blame him at all for sitting out the rest of the year because they looked what happened with the Notre Dame linebacker that one year.
Was it just a bowl game he set out or something? Yeah. Now it's very common.
It's so common right now because everybody looked at the linebacker from Notre Dame that one year that was supposed to be like a top 5 pick, and he tore his ACL in the bowl game that meant absolutely nothing. And he still got in the second round. He still got good, decent money, but he lost out. Oh, dude, easy like what, $20 million? I think all these players are like, look, I'm not doing this. And I heard Ohio State fans say, oh, if I was him, I would live up and. You're full of crap. I'm sorry. I mean, you as an Ohio State fan, I'm sure you were aggravated by it, right?
No, I understood that. I mean, not playing in a meaningless bowl game. It'd be different now. If a player, like there are reports about that Nico Iamaleava or whatever, who then transferred to UCLA, that he was threatening Tennessee if they didn't up his NIL money for the next season to set out a playoff game. He didn't. But if that's true, and I don't know if it's true, but dude, you can't set out a playoff game. Your goal.
No, see, I was for players getting paid. I was for it for years. That is just ridiculous. But there needs to be a line drawn. There needs to be
a meaningless bowl game where you have no chance to win a title and all, like if you're a player, and you're projected to go in the first round, especially, why would you risk generational wealth?
No, I don't blame them at all. Dale, I absolutely blame them at all. I mean, Who's going to remember the Orange Bowl that meant absolutely nothing? I don't even know who the hell won it this year. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just like, I don't blame any of these players at all. They're getting ready. Their future's on the line right here with all this. Like I said, I have never once blamed them at all. Like, I'll give you an example. AJ Green, he got in trouble because he sold a jersey at Georgia that was given to him, that was his to keep, but he got suspended because he sold it for cash. I'm like, why the hell do I care what he did? It's his jersey. He should be free to do what he wants with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, tattoo. It's weird now with NIL. Like,
there needs to be boundaries. There needs to be, but see, like, I think you're kind of explaining, where do you set that boundary at? Where's the boundary set at? I mean, they should not be allowed just to transfer just like that. Like back in the day, when you transferred, period, you had to sit out a year. I thought that was unfair because if you're a backup knowing you're not going to get any playing time, I thought that was unfair. But now it's like, oh, I just want to transfer here because they're offering me an extra $20 or $30 million. I'm like, well, wait. You're a starting quarterback, and all of a sudden this one team's offering you 2 or 3 extra million. Come on, don't. That's where I would draw the line right there.
But it goes to like the culture that you build. Like everybody's going to have transfers, but like Ohio State hasn't really had a ton of big name transfers because these guys will stay and wait their time, and that's building a culture and prove it. Like, hey, we'll get you in the league. When Nick Saban was at Bama, you didn't want to transfer from there. I'll wait my time because I'm gonna end up being in the league because I'm learning and valuable experience here.
Well, I understand that, but think about being a college coach. You're worried about your player transferring every time. I think it's hard to be a college football coach right now because now, not only you're recruiting, you're negotiating with players and all that. That puts even more stress on you. It's just like, I think it's 10 times more harder to be a college coach, right?
Oh, yeah. Recruiting and re-recruiting and yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, and offering money. I mean, it's ridiculous, like I say. So, yeah, I don't know where line. Hey, it works out for your Buckeyes just fine, Dale. It works out for you guys. Dale's there. You're never complaining about it. And I don't blame you. If I'm a Buckeyes fan, I'm happy as hell right now because I have the most cap I'm like the Yankees right now, or the Dodgers. I have the most cap to spend right now.
Not necessarily, man. There's a lot of Ohio State lost out on a defensive end recruit, I think, yesterday because USC was like, we'll give you almost $3 million. The kid's in high school.
That's true.
Almost $3 million for 2 years. Ohio State draws a line of like, we're not going to pay that much,
Didn't Ohio State just get like a big linebacker in Ohio? He says, I'm here to stay in the state of Ohio or something. They just got a big linebacker. Yeah.
There's another guy at the end that committed to USC yesterday as well. Yeah, they got a kid from Glenville, which has been a pipeline.
Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, like I say, though, there needs to be, like I said, I've advocated for years because I'm just sorry. You hear Sweeney, the coach of Clemson, like, if college players get paid, I'm quitting my job. Well, you're still coaching, buddy. I'm waiting for you to quit your job, and you're sure as hell's not going to quit it now with Dale's draft guide with all the good players coming in next year, right?
Well, yeah, and they actually dipped into the portal and got a few guys this year, and they've kind of been one that stayed away from. Yeah, and you're right, West. All that USC spending all that money to be 4-8.
Yeah, USC, man. I mean, dude, ever since Pete Carroll left, man, USC, the Pac-12 was just a broken down conference. Pac-12, man, Dale, when you and I were like growing up, man, like in 2001, 2002, that Pac-12 was the gold. That was the gold mine right there, man.
Now they're in the Big Ten, USC, Oregon.
Yeah. So. Now, the SEC, all right, let me ask you this. Is the SEC still the dominant conference? Or I've always stated SEC over Big Ten. I always called Big Ten fans a bunch of whiners and jealous of the SEC. But now, Dale, is the Big Ten. I still think it's the SEC. I thought Big Ten was down here. SEC was up here. But it's kind of coming right here a little bit now, sort of. You got Georgia.
I think the Big Ten is way closer because of additions like Oregon, and Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and then the USC if they get their shit together and start being good again.
Well, Nick Saban leaving Alabama, that played a big role too.
But Illinois has been better. Indiana's been better. So it's like, because it was always like the bottom tier teams in the Big Ten is what kept them down. Or even the bottom tier teams in the SEC. Like some years it'd be Ole Miss and they would be so talented. I mean, they've been better with Lane Kiffin. But like, they're still your Vanderbilts, and Kentucky hasn't been that great. So I think they're pretty comparable, honestly. And the Big Ten having the last two national champions with Michigan and Ohio State, I mean, that says a lot. It's not just dominated SEC. It's not Bama or LSU or Auburn when they had Cam Newton winning it each year.
And you look at Washington, I think you mentioned Washington, that was a joke team for years, like when they were in the Pac-12 for like the last 5 or 10 years. Corey, if you're watching this, please don't get mad at me. But no, I mean, like Washington, all of a sudden now they get in the Big Ten, and Washington, bam, man. I mean, they almost won the championship against Michigan.
It's honestly, it's just two. It's like
it's
big
close.
Two, really. It's the SEC and the Big Ten. It's the big two because the SEC then adds a team like Texas, like Oklahoma. So it's crazy the amount of talent in the Big Ten and the SEC, like those two conferences. It's pretty much the big two conferences.
Who's number 3? Is the ACC number? ACC's number 3, but it's not even. It's by. Like, all right, close. SEC and Big Ten are up here. ACC, I mean, is that the third best conference? I mean, what other conference is there after that?
Gosh, I put up like almost all your comments, brother. Like, I don't.
But yeah, like I say, buddy, it's just like I say, the college football, man. It's just, like I say, it's down to those two conferences, and after that, like I say. Do you think it's going to be another Big Ten this year? Is it Ohio State the favorites again, or who? Well, you said Clemson. Clemson.
I think and that they're not SEC and they're not Big Ten. Clemson's got a ton of talent. Whether they win it or not, who knows? Georgia's always in the mix as a good team from the SEC. Texas, I think, will be really good. And they're SEC now. It's pretty wide open. Like Oregon, it's Dante Moore as their quarterback. How good will he be? That will probably determine a lot, but that's another good team. They spend a lot of money, that Phil Knight Nike money.
Yeah, no kidding. But, Oregon, man, gosh, that was another team, man, that used to be just so.
Penn State could be the team in the Big Ten, honestly, but it's all up to Drew Aller at quarterback, how good he can be. But they're pretty stacked again this season.
I'll say this about Penn State. I don't want to get into detail about, what happened, with Paterno and all that. But you look at Penn State, that drama they went through. I thought Penn State was never going to be the same again. I mean, hats off to Penn State after rebounding from that whole controversy. They're still one of the top teams in the country. That was pretty remarkable. How you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and I mean Ohio State's D coordinator's there now, so that'll be a interesting game this season to see how they match up. I didn't really like that Matt Patricia hire, but the players and stuff seem to like it. He seems to maybe have changed, because
Chip Kelly. I got Chip Kelly. I don't make fun of Ohio State like I used to. I'm really like to my brother. What the hell are you guys doing with Chip Kelly? And now look where he is. He's back in the NFL now. So that's what I'm going to say. The same thing. Patricia, Dale. I hated Matt Patricia. I just never liked the guy personally. I'm like, what the hell are you guys thinking? But then again, look what I think they were looking off of what Saban did in Alabama. Look at all the coaches he hired that were like, got fired from their jobs. Well, except for Butch Jones, pretty much. But look at what he's done. I think that's what they looked at right there.
Yeah, I mean Lane Kiffin, who's the Texas head coach now? Sarkisian. Sarkisian
was a joke, man. I think he even got fired by the Raiders. I mean, everybody thought his career was going to go downhill, and
didn't he get in trouble like a DUI? Substance abuse. There was something going on with him, and right. Yeah, his career was definitely on the rocks.
Right, exactly. So now I'm not going to question anything. I still run into Ohio State fans that say get rid of Ryan Day because he lost.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry. Now you win a national title, bro. You're good.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's like Cleveland Browns fans saying, "Well, we beat you twice, even though But I'll be like, okay, we barely lost. I know you lost it, but if we were to win the Super Bowl, you think I would have given two shits? Cleveland exactly. Said we beat you twice. Yeah. I could have given. I hate Cleveland with the passion. I hate the Browns with the passion. Do you think I give two shits? Hell no.
I have no idea how good Ohio State's going to be this year because the quarterback stuff. You know, Julian Sayin was a freshman last year, true freshman. So this is only his second year. And if he's the quarterback, there's going to be some growing pains. He's not going to be like the man. So I do wonder about that. But they have a boatload of talent again. Like Caleb Downs at safety, man. Oh, if there's some way that the Bengals could end up with Caleb Downs, you know, in this next draft.
Like, don't get me excited, Dale. Don't get me excited. I'm not going to be scouting players because I'm going to get my hopes up.
Incredible safety.
Oh, no, I think I read about it. I'm not going to get my hopes up, Dale. I don't want to fall in love with a player and my heart gets broken, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I will. My pass rushing D tackles that I always fall in love with. Caleb Banks could be that guy from Florida. He's got to have a big season. He was very good at the end of the season. He's definitely one of my guys that I'm like, I'm going to fall in love with this guy, aren't I? If he takes the step.
The Clemson guy, is that just a dream right there? Would we have to be in the top 5?
Yeah, Peter Woods, dude. Yeah. I don't want to be picking in the top 10 because I think that's a top 10 pick. And TJ Parker, the edge from Clemson, I think that's a top 10 pick. I don't want to be picking top 10. But yeah, those guys are freaks.
Yeah. Like I say though, man. But yeah, no, I could say Ohio State winning it again this year and all that. And well, you know, I shouldn't say that. I can't root for Ohio State. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, with Caleb Downs going 32nd would be incredible.
Hey, sign me up for that, man. I wanted the safety really badly. I thought we should have taken a safety, man. I mean, Geno Stone. I'm going to go back to Geno Stone.
Do you have appropriate pants on so we don't?
Well, they're very skinny shorts, but you know what the hell? We could do one today. All right, buddy.
And you might see that swinging wrecking ball, and this may not be. Oh my God! Look at that hammer! Just that hammer between his legs.
Do you want me to use the hammer? Do you want me to use the hammer? But yeah. What?
Nothing.
But yeah. Like I say though, man. Hey, you know. Like I said, Geno, you know, like back to the safeties, you know, Geno Stone, man. I mean, is he really a breakout player or is he really, I don't know.
Just need to be the guy who had, you know, ball hawk guy that had 8 interceptions for the Ravens and also the way he played when things were simplified, you know, those last few games. Just need him to be decent. We need Jordan Battle to be good, like actually really, really good. I think that's part of it. And then the corners, you know, and Al Golden's defense. I think there's a path to where this team could be so much more improved on defense. Now, obviously, the Trey Hendrickson stuff, I want him here. And like I said, I don't care if it's just – I want to win this year.
Yeah, time is ticking.
So if it's a 1 year whatever and it's agreement to not franchise him and they say, we'll double your salary, just have him here, have him playing week 1. That's what I need from Trey Hendrickson.
That's all I need too, buddy. Like I said, we can agree, disagree, but at the end of the day, man, this goes to all Bengals fans, everybody. We just want that Super Bowl. We just may have. The only thing is, we may have different directions how that should go, but at the end of the day, we just want that Super Bowl. Yeah, it's strapped.
Man hammer. This is a man hammer. It's not a sledgehammer. It's a man hammer.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. It's
Greg's
the crusher, man.
Yeah. Crushes pop cans with that thing.
But yeah, buddy. Yeah, like I say, now I'm kind of ready for college football now, man. You know, maybe I might buy college football.
I'm ready for football, man. I'm
just ready for football in general. Just show me some football. I kind of wish. I even kind of miss watching the XFL a little bit. I would skim through it. I'm like, hey, this is good. It's football at least. But yeah, the Reds. Hey, they lost one yesterday, but hey, the Reds, man. You know, they're making a little. But then again, every time I
will not get excited about the Reds until it's like it's football season and the Reds, if they're actually in contention. I am not going to get excited. I am not going to be teased by the Reds again.
We've been teased too many times, Dale. We've been teased too many times. You're right. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy, not say anything.
Yeah. And NBA's NHL season's over.
This is the dull time of the year.
You know, it's almost time though for NHL, like for free agency, for the draft. All that's within like 10 days, I think. So my Blue Jackets, they just missed the playoffs. They were a lot better than people thought, and they've got salary cap money. So Curious to see what my Blue Jackets do. The Cavs, for NBA-wise, obviously you mentioned Game 7 coming up. But my Cavs, I think they're just probably going to stand pat mostly. Will they re-sign Ty Jerome? That's a big question. I don't think they're going to make any big moves. They were really good this year. They just got to be healthy when the playoffs come.
What about Greek Freak? Rumor has it they may go after Greek Freak.
That ain't happening.
I thought that was a real. Come on, man. You don't want Greek Freak?
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't want him. It's not going to happen. I don't think money-wise, everything, I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. But, the Pacers, man, I mean, look, man, I just can't root. I root for the Cavs, but I've been to a couple Pacers games. I own a Pacers hat. So, I mean, I got to say, man, like I said, you got to respect the Pacers. Indiana's a small market team. They never really got the attention they deserve.
So is OKC, to be fair.
No, both of them. Like, the NBA hates this. No, OKC, ever since they lost Durant, they've been down the dumps. Both these teams are well deserving of a championship.
Dude, that was weird. So, Tony, what is up with the guy who tried to shame Jamar Chase on an airplane? If you haven't seen that, I didn't share it because, I just thought it was a dick thing, so I didn't share it on Twitter. For not giving him an autograph an autograph, right? And he's like, he don't sign on. And he's leaving the plane. And he's like, yeah, make sure you say bye to Jamar Chase, on your way. And Jamar's just he just wanted to be left alone, probably tired or something. Who knows? He's on a flight, and the flight's come to an end. He didn't give an autograph to this guy, some adult man. It's just weird, dude. He clearly just wanted to be left alone. So then you say to the plane, and you're recording it. And Jamar just looked at him like he could fucking kill that guy, but obviously can't because he ain't trying to get sued.
That's
sometimes you just leave players alone. Leave them alone.
Joe Burrow, from my understanding, he can never leave his house or even go to the gas station or something. And Jamar Chase, same deal. I mean, leave them alone. They want to live their life. Just let them be.
They probably have to fly private. They probably have to fly private.
Right, exactly. I mean, I could just see the look on Chase's face. Are you kidding me? Seriously? I'm on a plane. I'm by myself. Shame on
he had a hood on. He was not trying to be even noticed.
And I want to say this. Actually, when I was with my nephews at training camp, Chase was so gracious signing for both my nephews and all that and stuff. He has always signed for literally every single. He only signs for the kids as he should. By the way, at training camp, but love you, Wade. But I'm just saying, every time I saw Chase at training camp, he has signed for so many kids after training camp, such as my nephews.
Yeah, time and place, right? And I'm signing for kids. I'm not going to sign for a grown adult. And you can say it's for they don't know that. They see some grown man, and he's on a plane. He's clearly and he's trying to be not noticed because if he signs for you on an airplane, he's on an airplane.
Right.
Guess what? He's going to be bombarded by everybody else on the airplane. He's going to get off the airplane at the airport and be bombarded by people at the airport. He's not trying to, he's just trying to travel from one location to another. Leave him the fuck alone.
Right. Imagine, I don't even know what went through his mind when he did all that. How could you even do, even if you don't even post it or anything, say if you didn't even post it, how could you even do that period to somebody like that?
Why sit there and record? And I hate that. That's one thing I hate too. People just record everything nowadays. Yeah. I always get mad too at those and maybe it's the old man yelling at a cloud, but I get mad at all those dumbass prank videos.
Right.
Where it's you just walk up to somebody and you prank them, and then people want to fucking punch you in the face, and then you want to be like, oh, you hit me. And it's because you're being a fucking douchebag.
Okay. I'll give you another example.
Bullshit.
Remember Mike Tyson on the airplane? Some guy, because it showed Mike Tyson hit some guy because the guy kept bothering him and all that and stuff. They found out this guy, but they just filmed him at a time where Tyson, like I say, they want to catch celebrities at a time to get them in trouble. Shame on those. Just stop it. Just stop it. What happened with Jamar? I feel so bad for Jamar on that. Jamar, obviously, the only thing he could do, you could just tell, he was just dude, seriously.
Well, Chump's not dead.
Whoa.
He fucked up. He forgot it was Friday. And he just woke up.
Well, Chump, if you want to come on quickly, if you have time, feel more than free to come on. We love you, Chump.
I said, you motherfucker.
Poor child.
What in the hell? What in the hell is this? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? What is Pringles even doing? Darth sent me this. Get some beer can chicken Pringles.
That is awesome.
Miller Lite beer can chicken Pringles.
Well, hell yeah, man.
Here's another Miller Lite Pringles grilled beer brat flavor. What? What are we doing?
What are we doing, Darth? But I
Beer
like that.
braised steak Miller Lite Pringles.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
That
crazy.
is crazy.
That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy. Crazy. Crazy. But it's your crazy.
The best flavor of Pringles is barbecue, by the way.
The pizza flavor was pretty good when I came out when I was in school, Dale. Yeah.
Barbecue, man.
Okay.
Barbecue is my favorite. What is everyone? This is a serious question. What is everyone's favorite flavor of Pringles?
All right. I got to really think about this. The sour cream and onion. Sour cream and onion is my favorite flavor.
See, I don't think they're good. I don't think
that's fine. Hey, Dale, to each his own.
I know. I'm just saying. I strongly disagree with that.
Hey, well, Dale, look at this, man.
I'd rather eat the plain ones.
That's fine. Barbecue for you, sour cream and onion for me. We're good to go.
Oh, Steve, that's definitely not something I would try. Jalapeno and cheese.
Well, I'll try it. Sure, why not?
The cheese ones, I don't think are that bad. I think I've had. They're
you want to try jalapeno now? Come on, man.
No,
okay. I'll tell you one thing. I think he came back. I want to talk chips in general. My favorite chip. Did you ever remember the Doritos 3D chips? Or
I don't think I ever really ate those. Do I remember them? Yes, but I don't think I really ate those.
There was something about them, Dale. There was just something about them. They were so good. They came back with them.
Two of my favorite chips, Greg, was Cool Ranch Fritos.
Yes! Yeah, Doritos. Yes.
Fritos, not Doritos.
Fritos. You mean Doritos?
No, Fritos.
What?
Cool Ranch Fritos.
They came out with Cool Ranch Fritos?
Yeah, when I was a kid, there was Cool Ranch Fritos. Listen, they actually brought them back for a while. I don't know that they still have them. They were pretty good. My other favorite, because everything's when you're a kid. Everything's better when you're a kid because life is easier. Was Cheeto Paws. Did you ever have Cheeto Paws? They were
I've never heard of those, dude.
Cheeto Paws, yeah, and which was also gone for a while, and then they also came back.
Wow. Okay, I never heard of Cheeto Paws. Now you got me looking this up.
And I don't know, and I think they might have got rid of them again, but it's like one of those were two chips that I always remembered as a kid, and they have come back during my adult life.
Okay.
I'm so excited. But I don't know that they have them anymore.
Well, dude, you got me on the lookout now for Cool Ranch Fritos and what is Paws?
Cheeto Paws. So it's like, you know.
I got to look this up.
Cheeto Paws. Dude, they were so good. And when they came back, they were not near as cheesy and shit, so they weren't as good. But yeah, I do like Snyder's barbecue chips, T-Bowls. That's a good choice. Sindustry says taco flavored Doritos. Tony Blaze said sour cream Paws. Like,
Dale, I've never seen these ever. Okay, but all right. I if I see those, I'm going to try them. I will try the Cool Ranch Fritos. I definitely need to try. You know, another good thing of Fritos that was most underrated. Did you ever try the chili flavored Fritos?
They're not bad. They're okay. There's a good one that I like. I don't have them too often. What's the one? It's like they're the twirly ones.
Oh, the barbecue, honey barbecue Fritos.
Honey barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Dale, I would,
Those
dude. I would handle those like crazy. Okay, I have these right now. I thought they would be disgusting. Please try the jalapeno flavored Cheetos. Those are good too. There's no Snyder in Arizona. What? Oh, dude, Arizona Buffalo pretzels. Oh my God, dude. Those are good.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. Cool Ranch Fritos, man.
All right.
And if my sister Kim's watching, still mad at you. My sister Kim, older than me. So maybe in junior high, no, probably even younger than that. She's in high school. Her and a friend, her boyfriend at the time, they come there. I ain't gonna say his name. Fuck that guy. I fucking don't like him. But anyways, so we're fishing. I'm fishing with my dad, my uncle, and some of my cousins, and we're gonna fish. Like it's gonna be overnight fishing, you know, like fucking like on the river shit, like real fishing, like fishing. Fuck cool.
Right.
Cool Ranch Fritos. I got some Domino's pizza when Domino's pizza was actually good.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
And my sister gets in a fight with my cousin. I ain't gonna say his name either, but I do like him.
Okay.
They get in a fight, so then me and Dad have to leave early and go home. That was going to be such a fun fucking night.
Damn, dude.
Ruined my fishing trip. Still mad about it.
Damn, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, man. But man, I'm seriously gonna keep on the lookout for Cool Ranch Fritos, man. I will now. You got me on a mission, man. I'm gonna find those big time. By the way, speaking of, we're on the subject of potato chips for the barbecue chips, Grippos. So last year was Marvin Harrison Jr. The year before that, oh no, who was it last year? Was it Howard that was on the cover of them?
Yeah, I didn't have you get me any of those. I had some of the Marvin, but I ate them. Like I didn't keep them, but I just ate them. You know.
Yeah, because you always put me on a mission. You didn't think I was going to find him, and I did. Yeah, no, yeah, I gave you the Marvin Harrison one. Yeah. Who's going to be on him this year? Do you know?
I don't know.
What are you talking about? You're the Ohio State guy. You should know.
Well, probably Carnell Tate because they usually do skill players, so he's a wide receiver.
All right, I'll keep on the lookout. You want me to keep on the lookout for you, or?
No, I don't care. It's fine. We got.
You know me.
There's Grippos around here. I don't get it. And like. So I got like Grippo's pork rinds, you know, because
I love
pork rinds are healthier, blah, blah, blah. I don't love them, but it's healthier snack.
Well, I cough on them a lot.
So the Grippo's pork rinds, they really weren't that good.
Right.
I was expecting like this otherworldly, but that's probably Midwest Best Barbecue fault, to be fair, because the Grippo wings, and then the boneless Grippo wings at Midwest Best Barbecue. Oh my God, dude!
Oh, Dale, I thought about you when I got those. I'm like, Dale's gonna go.
They're
higher.
so good.
They're so good, man.
It's just like nothing should be able to be that good. Like,
oh, and speaking of which, Midwest Best Barbecue, proud sponsor of this show. I see what you were doing there, Dale. You're trying to set me up. Proud sponsor of this show, Midwest Best Barbecue, along with the Chop Shop T-shirts. So you wear a Chop Shop T-shirt at Midwest Best, you will be even more cooler when you go in there.
Bro, why do you still live in Arizona? No Bob Evans.
What the hell,
no
man?
Waffle House. You just got shit-ass hop. That's crazy.
Although in Arizona, I did hear there's a In-N-Out burger. I never had that, but apparently that's like the best fast food burger. But it's only in the west part of the country, so don't get me started on that.
I don't know about these Mr. B potato chips, crap. I ain't gonna lie. What's Mr. B?
I have never heard of Mr. B potato chips ever in my life.
I heard of Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, he makes a lot of money.
Yeah, no, Domino's, didn't they? I think they changed their formula.
Bro, Domino's is not good. Pizza Hut used to be so good. And, like, Pizza Hut ain't that good no more. Like, oh, man. Our childhood's just gone, boys. Our childhood is gone.
No, it is gone. Damn,
gone.
Damn, man, I miss the pizza. Oh, my God. I miss the Pizza Hut buffet. I miss the big pitchers of Dr. Pepper I used to drink. I miss the pudding I used to get. I miss everything there.
It's Industries. I know they're ketchup chips.
I have tried.
They're not good, chips. Bro. If you real ketchup connoisseur like myself, what you do is you get like plain Lay's chips, or it don't matter. Like it, just like cheap ass Kroger brand, whatever, cheapest fucking plain chips, Ruffles, whatever, and you just put ketchup on it.
Yes, I have dip chips and ketchup, Dale. I have dip chips and ketchup.
Yeah, but the ketchup flavored chips, it's bullshit. Those are nasty.
No, I tried them one time. I did try them one time, Dale. They were actually really good. I was a little irritated, but no, you're right. You can dip them in ketchup, and they're just as good. You are right on that. There you go.
Good. Get the hell out that Arizona. I ain't got no good food down there and no good chips or nothing.
That's my West Virginia thing. Oh, here we go. Oh, ask St.
Yeah, I was hoping Chop would hop on.
Right. I think he's got to work tonight.
Because I got to pee. I'm going to keep it rolling if Chop will come on. But, I mean, that was at 4:36. It's 4:49. It's not looking good.
Absolutely, bro.
Who day, Kevin? Who day, everybody? All right, I guess we'll end this. Chop's letting us down. Can't keep talking about potato chips because I got pee. Chop's fault.
Yeah.
We still love him up. We still love
We love
pork
you,
chop.
buddy. Had a good
All
time.
right, guys. We'll be back. We'll be back. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. You never know. But we'll definitely be back Monday.
Absolutely.